Hello. Um, I have a number of um, budget-friendly watercolor pencils, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a quick comparison of the ones I have, and so it's sort of informal but informative video. There's not a lot of info on YouTube that I can find that talks in depth about some of the cheaper sets that I have. So I thought, why not do a video myself? So I'm going to start with the Artist Loft. Now these are the fundamentals, and either the 12-pack or the 24-pack both cost $5 at Michael's. And so I thought, well, $5, I can afford that. So I got the set, and what I'm holding right now is watercolor paper. So I thought the best way to do a little comparison would be to do swatches, I guess, of each one on different sheets of watercolor paper. And the fundamentals are right here. This is what they look like. They have a gold band on the end, and I don't know if you could see that or not, but they say fundamentals right on the pencil. And I have the 24 set. Now if you look closely, you can see where I've colored and tried to take the wet brush and make it flow, but as you can see the pencil marks. I would not recommend these even for the price. You can see you can use them dry, and you're probably better off doing that, unless you're willing to, right here, take the take your wet brush and brush the tip of the pencil, and then lay down the color. Then you can get a little bit of color and a little bit of flow going that way. But to use them straight like pencils and then try to paint with them that way, no. Now the next set, regular Artist Loft watercolors. This set, if you go to Michael's in the store, you'll see the fundamentals for $5. Then they have the Artist Loft watercolor pencils in a clear plastic box, and they cost twice as much. So for a pack of 24, they're, around, I think I had a 40% coupon, so I didn't pay $11 for them. But as you can see, they don't perform any better than the fundamentals. I thought, being costlier, they would be better quality, but they're not. And you can see, here we go, yeah. That's the gray. The fundamentals gray color looks like this. It's actually darker. Now, same thing with the fundamentals. If you take your wet brush to the tip of the pencil and color with them that way, you can get slightly decent pigment and a much better flow. But to color with them, you can see Just once the pigment is in the pencil, uh, you're better off using them dry, unless you're willing to use the tip directly, use the brush right on the tip of the pencil. Those particular Artist Loft pencils have the same color barrel with the colors on the tip matching the pencil lead. Alright, the next two, the Crayola watercolor pencils. Now these aren't that bad. I think that they're much better quality than the Artist Loft, but as you can see, they still tend to not flow that well when colored first. But I still think that they offer bolder color, and they do spread color better than the Artist Loft. Now these, I got these Royal and Langnickle at a store called Five Below. They were $5 for 12 pencils, and I was disappointed. they don't perform any better than the Artist Loft. But you can, again, paint directly on the tip of the pencil with a wet brush and apply the color that way. This is what the Royal Langnickle look like. They've got the name of the pencil and a little water brush, and these do have the color on them. The Crayolas also have the colors on them. However, the one thing about Crayolas, now, you see this? I have not used the Crayola blue any more than my other pencils. But look what I have left. These pencils are notorious for the lead falling out of them. That's the red, the same thing. They're not, I mean, for a budget pencil, they're not bad. And I have the regular Crayolas too, but these watercolor ones, they fall apart on me big time. These are the Staedtlers, and this is what they come in this box. I got these at Michael's, and I had 40% off coupons, so I think I paid about $7 for a set of 12. I like them. I'm impressed with them. They color much better than the others. As you can see, except for the black, you don't really see the lines. And on this pink one here, I decided to try applying water directly to the tip. and I got nice bold color. And finally, these are the Prismacolor Premier water-soluble pencils. They're the most expensive, of course, but I only got the 12-pack, so with a discount, I got them at Staples for $13.99. And as you can see, they color very nicely. Not as well as I expected for a artist pencil. In fact, I think the Staedtlers perform better than these, interestingly enough. And they come in a tin. This tin right here. They're water-soluble colored pencils. And this set doesn't have a purple, which I found interesting. But anyway, that's my little review of my cheapy watercolor pencils. I only have a few coloring books that take watercolors, including this one I just got at Five Below for $4. And it's Picasso to color in, the master of modern art. And what I like about this one is it gives you the original painting to use as inspiration. And it talks about using different mediums in it too, including paints and pencils. And it talks about Picasso in the art form. Yeah. Now in this one here, I used my new watercolor pencils in this to try them out. And there's the original there, called The Dream. This section here, the chair, her hair, and part of her clothing here was done with the Royal Langnickles. Just to give you a closer look. You can see how it looks more it looks like regular colored pencil, but it was watercolor pencil. And I used watercolors, but you can hardly tell. See? It's very streaky. And down here. Now here on her face and her shoulder area, and part of her arm here and here, was done in Artist Loft. The more expensive Artist Loft colored pencil is this right here. Gray. This is gray too, but see how much darker it is? But as you can see, it's quite streaky. I ended up using a lot more water on this portion right here. And this here, it looks like regular colored pencil that hasn't been blended. This was also the more expensive Artist Loft colored watercolor pencil. And here I used Crayola white and violet. And I use Crayola on this section here. Now the wallpaper was done with the Staedtlers, and it looks a lot better than it just. I hurried in these lines here. I think I could have gotten an even more uniform color if I'd taken my time. But the flowers and the inside orange yellow color, I'm very happy with the way that came out.